After a long break, it's time for another PlayStation Portable versus Retroid Pocket 3. You know the drill. I'll do side-by-side comparisons of some PSP games and also let you see exactly the settings I'm using to get the best performance possible. This time I'm looking at action and adventure games. Let's go ahead and get started with Assassin's Creed Bloodlines. If you've watched any of my other PSP versus videos, you have a general idea of my basic settings. I'll let you take a look at them here. And if you haven't watched that, check out the link up top. Because, as everyone who's been watching these videos knows, I've been playing PSP games at 2x resolution for months now. And in this game, you'll get good performance with my basic settings. So, let's drop in that PlayStation Portable footage and take a look. The first thing you'll notice, of course, is the classic PSP blue tint on the screen on the right. The color balance is just way better on the Retroid Pocket 3. As far as performance goes, there's not really an issue with either system, although of course, on the Retroid Pocket, I am playing at doubled resolution compared to the PlayStation Portable.
My ship, soldier. I was told there would be another fleet of 8.
Next up is Crash of the Titans. Again, I'm going to just use my basic settings, the ones that I've found generally work well at double resolution in most games. Personally, I think it's rare that you need to lower the resolution on the effects here, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And now let's take a look and see how they look side by side. Immediately you should notice that the color balance on the PSP is a lot better in this game. Clearly they did something to offset for the blue tint. However, I do notice some frame stuttering when I'm attacking some of these planks. And although the blue tone to the color is better, it's still a bit washed out compared to the vibrance on the Retroid Pocket screen.
Press the square button to smash stuff and collect magical motion.
There are some minor occasional frame dips on the Retroid Pocket 3 as well.
But how can those rodents be a threat compared to us rodents that are lucky and delightful and oh so nice? Well,
And I want to take a moment here to show you why I prefer linear texture filtering, especially in this game. Just take a look at the texture here on this rock. Then let's change the texture filtering to nearest, and you can see what an impact that has on this game. Suddenly the rock has a very pixelated texture, and in this game especially, I prefer that smoother, more cartoon look that you get with linear filtering. Alright, back to the side-by-side.
Come on, Crash. Jump with the X button, then press the X button again while in the air to do an air jump.
Of course he likes us. That's crazy talk you're saying there. What is he making? Wow. If I tell you it's not a secret, is it, you crazy sip? Stop it! Recording! Example it!
And if you want to get rid of those minor frame dips in this game, you can try changing this setting. Just turn buffered rendering off. In this game it doesn't do a lot, it's some minor special effects. However, you do get smoother performance. That doesn't work in every game. Moving on to Death Jr., this game works well with all of my standard 2x PSP settings. The PSP side will catch up with us eventually. It just loads a lot slower in this game. This is another one where the developers clearly had the PSP screen tint in mind because the color balance is actually quite good. Both sides look comparable. Just taking a look now at the settings for Jak and Dakster, The Lost Frontier. As you can see, if you leave buffered rendering on, it doesn't perform very well. This is another game where you can turn that off. The lava flow won't look quite as good after you do that. As you can see there in the corner, the glow is gone. However, it performs much better this way.
Use the button to jump across these stepping stones. That's a high ledge. Try double jump. More monsters. Press the button and give them the old spin
And it
kick.
becomes clear that some of these developers knew what they were doing and avoided that blue tone that some PSP games had. Still, it does look a bit washed out compared to the Retroid Pocket 3 screen. Lara Croft Tomb Raider Anniversary. That's a mouthful. And unfortunately, I just cannot get this game to work well without a frame skip of 1. Immediately, you notice too much white and it looks blue. I actually don't mind setting a frame skip of 1 on this game. It locks it at 30 frames per second, and it's pretty clear that originally the game did not run at a stable 60 frames per second on the PSP anyway. It's especially noticeable anytime the camera pans around. You notice stuttering and just some general frame jumpiness. I just prefer to get rid of that and run at 30 frames per second all the time. We'll leave Lara hanging on the ledge there and take a look at the settings I use for Ratchet and Clank. Size matters. It's really just the basic stuff. The game runs fairly well, although later I'll show you what happens when you try to improve the performance. So you see some frame rate stuttering there. Let's try to turn off buffered rendering and see if that helps performance in this game. It does seem to help performance, at least at first, but then you'll notice some real serious issues that it creates. That. So clearly we need to keep buffered rendering on for this game and just deal with those minor stutters if we want to play it at 2x original resolution.
Press the X button while crouching to do a high jump. enter first-person mode. Aim and fire the target on the gate to open it.
I'll be honest right here, pushing the select button isn't great on the top, but aiming with the analog is a lot easier than aiming with the nub. And that does it for another PlayStation Portable versus Retroid Pocket 3. I hope you enjoyed this side-by-side comparison of some action and adventure games. If you did, please do give it a like and hopefully subscribe to the channel. With that recent announcement of the upcoming Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, this will probably be the last PSP versus using this system. But I know you'll be excited to see how the 3 Plus performs just as soon as I can get my hands on it. Check back soon for the next video, and until then, keep gaming.